Well, it's officially springtime, and what that means is it's time to put my side exit exhaust back on the XJ. And I know it makes a lot of you guys angry, but I'm doing it anyway. Let's get into it. Okay, before we get into me swapping over the side exit exhaust, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping, but there's also a bonus included in this video. It's gonna be talking about the 3 most epic modifications I have done to TD XJ in the last year. And I think you guys are gonna wanna stick around and see what those modifications are, because I feel like everybody with a modified XJ should have these mods. But before we get into that, you guys have seen I haven't posted a lot recently, and I've just had a ton of things going on in my personal life, in my business life, and it just did not afford me any extra time to be creating videos for this channel, unfortunately. But a lot of that is changing. But if you did not know, at the end of 2022, I launched a new group of brands called the Exodus Companies. I'm wearing one of my sweatshirts right here. But the Exodus Companies is all about creating a better culture, investing in our culture, becoming more excellent as an individual so that we can impact the world around us in a positive way. And I hope I can do that through this channel as well. But as a thank you for anyone who wants to support me or support my business and my team, if you go over to exoduscompanies.com, you can check out all of our apparel there. I've got some sweet Overland hoodies and tees. I've got the 7Fs hoodie that I'm wearing now, along with a bunch of other apparel. You can save yourself 15% by using code TDXJ15. And I'll put that on the screen right here. Save you some money. You can help impact the culture around us, because we know that we desperately need it in our world. We need to have a revival of culture. And for supporting me and my team, it's going to be allowing us to be continuing to create videos on TDXJ. We're about to embark on the Comanche OM606 swap, and I will be filming all of that on this channel as well, doing a lot of behind the scenes prep work. And we're even looking at buying a new building in a local town near us, which will afford us more face-to-face interaction and more vehicle modifications, as well as content that you guys like to enjoy. But before I get into the side exit exhaust and I put that on, I feel like it warrants a sound check. Can I talk you guys into it? What do you think? Do a quick sound check? All right, let's do it. But unfortunately, that rear exit needs to go. And there's quite a few reasons why I'm going to be doing that, quite a few reasons why I don't like running the rear exhaust, but I will explain them in this video. For now, let's get that guy on, and it fits right under there. So that side exhaust will come out right there. And there's a couple reasons why I do that I'll explain in a second. And just like that, we have a 6-inch MBRP tip underneath my Jeep. And contrary to popular belief, you can in fact fit 3-inch exhaust piping in a stock Jeep XJ crossmember. Now I have an Iron Rock off-road kit up here, but you can fit 3-inch exhaust on your Jeep. Now, before I go any further, I think it's time for some sound checking. Get you guys set up. Okay, so I know a lot of you are questioning right now, why the heck did I put a side exit exhaust on my Cherokee? I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, you can't go off-road, you can't do all the things that you want to do, you can't go camping. I have this setup right here on the ground, right there as you guys can see, specifically for off-roading. and then it exits out the back like it should. The problem is the entire back hatch gets completely covered in soot to the point where you can actually see it on my rotor packs here. Let's see if we can, oh yeah, right there you can see it. It's just dirt, grime, and to the point where my window on the back, I can't even see out of it. So the solution that I came up with was to run a side exit exhaust when I'm not wheeling, when I'm just driving around, and then the only thing that gets completely covered is my wheel right there. That gets completely covered in soot, but that's super easy for me to clean, no issues there. But I would be lying if I said that my favorite part wasn't the fact that it sounds so amazing under load. Now, it's a beautiful day. I am gonna get into those 3 modifications I did to the Jeep, but first I'm gonna go enjoy this side exit. The sounds of this OM617 are amazing. So once I get to that final location, we'll talk about those 3 mods that I did. I'm gonna go enjoy the day for a little bit. Man, I am so happy that it is finally springtime. This winter was weak. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy having snow and colder weather. I like exploring in the snow. I like to go up north in the snow and play around in the Jeep. This winter, we got like nothing. So it was super depressing, but we are here now. It's springtime finally, and when I get to spring, I just get pumped up to go explore more with XJ. And I have a lot of camping trips planned. I'm gonna head up into the far northeast even more this year. And ultimately, I really want to just enjoy exploration with the Jeep. You guys probably could assume, even if you don't know, that as I was building or converting this, I should say, it was a super lengthy process. And that was back in 2018 when I did the diesel conversion. And now I'm finally driving it every single day. And there's quirks, there's things that I wanna change. Maybe at the end of the video, I'll talk about a couple of those things. But largely, I just drive this thing and enjoy it at this point, which I think is the objective of anybody that does an engine swap on their vehicle. You wanna get to the point where you can just drive it and enjoy it. And I'm finally at that point with this. So checked off the list today, putting the side pipe back on. It did not disappoint. The sounds of a 5-cylinder Mercedes turbo diesel engine, in my opinion, are unmatched. There's just nothing quite like the sound of this 5-cylinder ripping up the road. So the side pipe's gonna keep the back of my Jeep clean. Obviously, if I go wheeling, camping, like I was just explaining, I end up pulling the side pipe off, putting the rear exit exhaust on, and yeah, obviously that's a clearance issue if you're wheeling, so you don't wanna be doing that. Don't wanna have low things hanging underneath your Jeep, I should say. So for all of you trolls that are like, oh, your Jeep has a big exhaust and now it's gonna hit on rocks. Yeah, obviously. I don't use the MBRP tip for any off-roading. It's just strictly for cleanliness and keeping my vehicle clean on the back so I can actually see out the window. And then when I'm grabbing my tools and stuff on the back, I just don't get crap all over my hands. This is what I want. I love the sound of it. I like the look of it. And if you hate what I did with the side exhaust, let me know down in the comment section below. But I'm at one of my favorite spots here just to come. It's obviously a busy Sunday. There's a lot of people driving around because it's a really nice day. But I thought that guy was gonna come back. Every once in a while I'm filming a video, somebody will stop by and be like, hey, Jared, hey man, I watched your YouTube channel. Because I have a couple different channels, but anyway, that guy was probably just checking out what I was doing. So I promised you guys I would tell you the 3 modifications that I think were the best modifications I've ever done to my Jeep. And we're gonna start off first with the big brake and the WJ knuckle conversion. So I know a lot of you have driven stock Jeep Cherokees, and you know that even in stock configuration with like 27, 28, 29 inch tires, the front brakes factory are absolute trash. So one of the things that I did before I went to Maine at the end of last year was do the WJ knuckle conversion over here, and I bought the Power Stop brakes kit for the WJ. It came with the big rotors. It came with the Accu something calipers, I forget. There's 2 types of WJ calipers. I have the Accu or whatever the frick they're called. I'll put the word there. The better calipers in the front of this thing. And I did the knuckle conversion obviously at the exact same time, because you have to in order to do to put the bigger brakes on your Jeep. I am absolutely mind blown how amazing it is having larger brakes in the front of my Cherokee. I cannot believe that I had not done that for all the years that I've been driving this. I've owned this thing for like 12 years now, and I've been driving it on 35s for probably 5 of those years with stock front XJ brakes. And that's sketchy. It doesn't give you confidence when you're off-roading or you're on steep inclines or you're going down massive hills. It just sucks having factory brakes. Finally did that. Now I feel safe and sound with my XJ. So if you're on the fence about that, I would highly recommend doing the WJ knuckle conversion and the larger brakes. It is a game changer. Now, side bonus, I did film the entire conversion over here. I have all the footage, all the B-roll, all that stuff. If you would like me to do a specific video on the Power Stop brakes with the WJ knuckles and that whole conversion, I need to see some comments down below. My schedule's pretty tight, but I would love to put that video together if it's something that interests you guys. But 10 out of 10 recommend any modification that you do, even before lift kits, lockers, big tires. Even if your XJ is stock, I would do the WJ knuckle conversion because it totally changes the feel of your vehicle, gives you more confidence as you're driving down the road. I'm not gonna get in the mud or show you guys the kit or anything, but I'm panning some B-roll probably over top of this video, just showing you some of those photos. And I do have some photos on my Instagram page, Turbo Diesel XJ, so check that out as well if you're interested. Second modification that I did to my Jeep, and I guess to be honest, the first one that I listed was kind of like 2-in-1. It was the WJ knuckles and the big brakes, kind of separate, but you need both to do it right. I digress. So we'll do 1 and 1A, and now we're on to 2. Second most important thing I think I've done to my XJ is that roof rack on top. So I built that with one of our team members, Leo, a good friend of mine. We slammed that thing together in a couple days, and it is the most robust roof rack I've ever seen on an XJ. And the entire thing weighs something like 30 pounds. Very lightweight because it's almost all aluminum, but I've had me up on top of there. I've had my rooftop tent. My wife and I have been up there on the beach with the rooftop tent. So we've had 2 people in there. My son and I have gone camping. That roof rack is one of the best things that I've ever done to my XJ. And if you want to see a video on that, I'm also willing to do a specific video on that as well. I don't really have any B-roll of us making it or fabricating it because at the time I was getting ready for Maine, just slamming through getting this thing done so I could get the rooftop tent on. But that's something I'd be 100% willing to dive into if that interests you guys. And I would highly recommend ditching that factory roof rack and getting something like this. And a little bit of a side note, I will have a store coming where you guys can shop for the equipment on my Jeep, the stuff that I've manufactured myself. I'm very blessed to own a company that manufactures high quality American made products. And because of that, I have the tools, equipment, personnel to manufacture virtually anything in the world on the market, anything you could think of for vehicles. So I do plan on releasing the roof racks, bumpers, and the gates that I'm going to talk about in a second. And if that interests you guys, again, the comment section is a great place to discuss that because ultimately it gives me kind of a roadmap of what you guys are interested in. Third most important modification to my Jeep which is sort of controversial, is the lunchbox locker in my Dana 44 in the rear. A lot of people hate on lunchbox lockers. They say, oh, selectable is the only way. In my opinion, for like 90% of people, a lunchbox locker would probably be the move, and I do plan on doing a video on that because it is a controversial topic. So the locker in the rear, I've also had a locker in the front for a period of time. That was a lunchbox locker as well. Currently, my Dana 30 up front is open, but I do plan on throwing a lunchbox locker up front there as well. But I find that they are the best bang for your buck. They're the easiest to install. You don't have to reset your carrier, do any of the crazy stuff. So if you don't need to re-gear, you're not looking at doing anything crazy, but you still want the capability of a locker. Lunchbox locker is an amazing addition, and if you set it up properly and you run high quality gear oil, you're not going to have the issues that a lot of people talk about on the interwebs. I know, shocking. The things people say on the internet are not true. Bear with me, I understand. I'm going to give you guys a bonus though as well. Aside from those three things, the fourth thing that I did is build the rear gates for the rear of my Jeep. And for that, I'm actually going to switch the camera to the back. We're going to talk about that for a second. When it comes to having a Cherokee, one of the biggest disadvantages I would say of the Cherokee platform is just storage and being able to bring gear with you. The Cherokees are just a very small SUV, and because of that, they're a distinct disadvantage. Now, I'm not going to talk a ton about the gates, and I'm not going to pull them open or anything in this video, but I did manufacture these in our shop. They're rusty because this is still a prototype. I've got a couple refinements, but I have now been running with gates on my Jeep for almost 2 years, and they are phenomenal. The gates that we built have no blockage of your taillights, your turn signals, your backup lights. I really got frustrated by the gates on the market and the fact that they always have this huge like trailer bushing, or bearing I should say, on the back. It's like, gosh man, it's 2023 and there's better ways to do this. So we custom machined our own bearings. Shouldn't say bearings, they're an off-the-shelf bearing, but we custom machined housing for these bearings. And it's just way stronger than those trailer style bearings, way smoother. You don't have to grease them if they ever would fail. You could replace them very easily with just basic tools, but they shouldn't fail because they're 100% sealed. They're ball bearing, precision bearings, and they're completely protected inside of the custom machined housing that we have. But when I'm overlanding, I need to have gear all over my Jeep, and because of that, and because of the lack of space inside, I opted to put gates on the back of the Jeep. Now, the one thing I'll say, I'm throwing you guys all kinds of bonuses today, but the fifth thing that I added to my Jeep in the last year, which I would say was an amazing addition, is the Iron Rock off-road leaf springs. I've run them for years, but my old ones were clapped out. My old ones did not have the extra add-a-leaf that Iron Rock off-road offers, but I finally did buy new springs. I did all the bushings, replaced all that stuff, and I also opted for that add-a-leaf, which does add about 1 inch of lift on the back. Now, as soon as I put the rooftop tent on, I load up the Jeep with all my gear and bins and camping stuff. It does squat that down, still a little bit lower than the front, so I might be looking to add some extra springs in there, but this was a solid addition when I built these gates on the back, because the gates add a lot of extra weight. It's a full-size 35-inch tire. We've got my high lift jack. Actually, it's Leo's high lift jack. I kind of stole it from him, but got a high lift jack there, 2 fuel cans, a shovel, and my hatchet. And then when you open up the gates, they both flip down into little trays. So if you wanted to cook or eat or do something like that, they've got 2 little tabletops tucked in behind, and everything's adjustable. Everything can be modified to fit your needs. So going back to the topic of me having a store to release products to you guys, these will be one of those products that eventually I'll offer. To start, just to keep it simple, probably just have clean bumpers front and rear. I know a lot of you like the bumpers that are on my Jeep. Those we can get out very quickly. So what I would say is pay attention to our brand, Exodus Overland. I'll put some information down in the description as well. Pay attention to that site because I'll be opening up a TD XJ store inside of our website there. As far as camping stuff, if you guys want to show some other support, my other business, Lantern, again, I'll put it down in the description. That's a great way to get some camping products and stuff that I will show you in some future videos. But guys, those are the products that I've added to my Jeep over the last year. I think it really sets it apart as far as capability. It gives me the ease of mind knowing that when I'm descending into the wilderness, like up in the North Maine woods, I am hundreds of miles away from anybody, no cell service. The only radio connectivity that we have is with each other in our vehicles. So if something goes wrong, I need to be able to have this stuff on hand to either fix the vehicle or get a friend unstuck if they are stuck. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong when you're in the middle of nowhere. But this has been a solid progression, and because it's been so reliable and I've had so few issues and I've just been driving it, it's now time to start on the OM606 swapped Comanche. So you'll see more content about that soon. I'll probably do an overview of the truck and where I'm headed with that. But above all else, appreciate the support. I'm sorry it's been a while since I've made a video. And like I said, there's just a lot of stuff going on in my life. And my wife is actually expecting twins any day. So it's gonna get a little bit more hectic. That puts me up to 5 boys and 1 girl. I know a lot of personal information that you guys probably don't care about, but it's gonna be a little bit of a crazy phase of my life, but I do plan on putting out more and more content. But again, I would just say, please let me know in the comment section below what you want to see. If there's specific questions about this rig or the 606 swap Comanche, all that stuff, put it down in the description, in the comments, not the description. I make the description, you make the comments. It's time to go. But guys, there's a little bit left of daylight. I'm gonna go cruise around the Jeep, maybe have a cigar and just relax. I got a friend's birthday party to go to after I drive around a little bit. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for the support, even though I know it's been sporadic with the posting, but I promise there's more coming, and I will catch you in the next one.